Thank you, Marty. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm streaming this presentation live on Facebook right now. I wish I could stream on LinkedIn, but I don't have that capability yet. So if any of you are on Facebook and you have a phone with you, if you go to the Sohn Social Media Solutions Facebook page, if you would share the post, I would really appreciate it, and encourage your people to watch this presentation on Facebook, on a presentation on LinkedIn, but watch it on Facebook. Why is nobody laughing? Okay. So, thanks again to Marty for having me here. Thank you to Lou Troiano for tracking me down and roping me into doing this presentation. I really appreciate it, and the entire board of ID Alliance. So I have a question for you. Are your sales going like this in your business? Raise your hand if they are. That's good. Raise your hand if they're not. Well, today I'm going to talk about different tools and strategies that will help you increase sales to your business, whether it's direct mail or printing companies or other organizations here. Bear with me 1 second. Yes, thank you.
Don't forget the clicker.
So just a little bit about me. My name's Tim Sohn, as Marty said. I've had this business, Sohn Social Media Solutions, for about 4 years. I'm based in Northeast Pennsylvania in Pike County in a little town called Shahola, which most people don't know, but a few do. And in Shahola, and in the surrounding area of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, I offer social media trainings, whether it's one-on-one or group trainings on site for your business, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blogging, social media advertising, whatever. Social media management, creating content for your business, websites, driving people to your website for your business, public relations, blogger relations, etc. So pretty much anything to promote your business. And I would encourage you all to connect with me on LinkedIn. I did send out invitations to most people here probably, and one person told me he didn't connect with me. Could you believe that? Because he didn't know me yet. But that's a good point, and we'll talk about that later. Who should you connect with on LinkedIn? Should you connect with people you don't know, or people that, for example, when you come to a meeting like this, you meet them and then you connect with them on LinkedIn and develop a relationship that way? You can also connect with me on Facebook. Sohn, just search for Sohn, S-O-H-N, Social Media Solutions, and I hope to see you there. So to make things a little bit interesting tonight, we're going to have a little photo contest. How many of you have smartphones with you? So what we're going to do is I encourage all of you to take photos during the presentation. It could be a selfie. It could be a photo of your food. It could be a photo of a whole group of you, of anything. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be anything at all. And we'll have a little photo contest. Use the hashtag on your photo, LinkedIn Sales Success. And I will select one person who entered the contest with the most creative photo to win an hour-long consultation on social media. Does everybody have their phones out?
We don't know how to post a photo. How do we do that?
And then you would post it to LinkedIn. And if you need help with that part, I will help you afterwards. So all you have to do during the presentation is take the photos, and if you need help posting it afterwards, we have someone doing it right now. See me afterwards, and I'd be happy to help you post it on LinkedIn. So I'd also like to extend an invitation to you to join. I have a Facebook group called the Social Success with Tim group. All you have to do is search for that, and I provide updates on different social media trends going on. Right now we have a great group in there, and I'm hoping to increase the engagement, so I'd love if all of you would join it. I also created a LinkedIn group with the same name, so if you search the same name on LinkedIn, there I'll focus more on business-to-business content and that kind of thing. So I would encourage you all to do that. And I'm glad to see people are taking photos. This is exciting. So today there's lots of fun ahead. Are you guys all excited to learn about social media?
Yeah.
So first I'm going to talk about first impressions, how to brand your social media, your LinkedIn profile. Then I'll talk about consistent content. How often should you post on LinkedIn? What kind of content? And that kind of thing. Should you post a picture of your food on LinkedIn as opposed to a blog post about the ROI of direct mail? Reaching out to find new followers, but specifically, how do you find the right people, the right businesses that you want to target to become potential new clients? And then making an investment. I'll talk a little bit about different options for LinkedIn premium packages for, they have a LinkedIn business option as well as LinkedIn Sales Navigator. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you, the one that's taking all the pictures.
Oh, Angela.
Angela, what's your last name?
Stubbs.
And what business are you with?
Direct mail, freight fulfillment.
Great, excellent. And how can people find you on social media? Or can they?
No, they can't find me.
They can't, not yet.
I'm on LinkedIn and that's it. I'm
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could search for you on LinkedIn?
I'm definitely on LinkedIn.
Okay. Keep taking pictures. So how many of you feel like this when it comes to LinkedIn? And how many feel like this when it comes to LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll cure that problem today. So before I talk about LinkedIn, let's talk a little bit now how you get clients for your business. How are you guys currently getting clients? I need some volunteers here. Yeah,
I was say networking. Yeah.
like events like this?
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
We get a tremendous amount of leads through our website.
Okay.
Tremendous.
Okay. And do you know how people are finding your website?
We've paid, well, a lot of it is paid content, but a lot of it is search engines that we have top built.
Oh, okay. So like search engine advertising?
Right.
Okay, great. How else? Does anybody do like cold calling? Yeah.
Networking at industry events and then connecting with people through LinkedIn afterwards is just a first step of an introduction.
Exactly. That's great. Anything else? Yeah, Angela.
Referrals.
Referrals. That's okay. Excellent. Any others? We good? Anybody still taking pictures?
Absolutely everything.
Everything? All the above? Okay. So when we talk about LinkedIn, before we even start using LinkedIn, we want to talk about, are your potential customers using LinkedIn, right? Do you guys know if your customers are using LinkedIn? Mark, are your customers using LinkedIn? And how do you know if they are or not?
A lot of them aren't. The industries that are our primary focus now are a lot of B2C e-commerce companies.
Okay.
And for what's worth, I've looked for a lot of them, and many of them, if not most of them, are not.
Sure. So you were saying they tend to be more like Facebook or Instagram kind of,
Yeah.
they navigate in that direction?
It boils down to they're going to be where their customers are, and their customers are consumers, and consumers tend to spend more time on some of the other channels.
Sure. Who else? Anybody know if some of their customers on LinkedIn? Have you checked? Yeah.
Not customers as much as I have people from the supply side within my business.
Okay.
So maybe you can offer some insight on the customer side of this, as opposed to just the supply side, which is okay, because I get a lot of my business from referrals within the industry,
Sure.
but maybe you can piggyback on it.
Sure, absolutely. And I'll talk about that as we go through. And if you have any questions, please ask them. Yeah, Gary.
One of the things I found is that when this happened just last week after meeting, say, 20 people at an industry conference, and then tried to connect to LinkedIn. Most of them were on LinkedIn, but about a third of them was only through InMail, so you have to pay to
Okay.
connect with them, and you can't just connect without it.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so LinkedIn has something called InMail, which you have to pay for so many. What it is so you can send a private message through LinkedIn, and depending on if you have free or whatever package, you're allowed so many messages. If you're connected to someone who's connected to someone, then you can connect with them for free. But if it's somebody that you're not connected with at all, there's a possibility that you'll have to purchase an in-mail, which you would need a premium package to do. Does that help?
Also, so people do it to cut down on their spam through LinkedIn? Is that why they do it?
I guess so. I guess that's one reason, yeah. Yeah.
I find that a lot of people I look up, they're on LinkedIn, but their profiles are so outdated that it's obvious to me that they maybe just set it up years ago and haven't touched it again. I mean, people even change jobs and don't update it. So
Yeah.
there's a good number of people that are there, but I don't think they're using it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think LinkedIn probably has, compared to all those other social networks, they have a lot of inactive users. I'll talk a little bit more in a minute. They do have 500 million users now, so it's growing. But it's true that some people may not check it that often or be that engaged with it.
Who currently owns LinkedIn? Didn't they?
It's now owned by Microsoft. So you'll start seeing different integrations between LinkedIn and Microsoft products. And it's really evolving. The look has changed a lot since Microsoft took it over. It almost sort of has more of a Facebook-y look. Yeah?
So I have over 1,000 contacts on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
From contacts to contacts that have contacted me. I have no idea what to do with them. I know
Okay.
a lot of them are purchasers. I know a lot of them are key contacts. And I just don't know what to say to them, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'll get to that
If
point.
it's a third-party contact. Hi, how you doing? I mean, I don't know
Right.
them from Adam.
Right. I'll talk about that in a little while. It's part of my presentation. And if you have any questions, if you're still wondering what to do, just say, I love LinkedIn, and then I'll respond. So the first step is really to figure out if you have customers on LinkedIn and potential customers. And one way to do that is to connect with some people that you think may be customers. You always want to personalize your invitation with their name, maybe do a little research about their business, whether it's through social media or their website. And then once you connect with a few people, you'll be able to see what's called their activity feed. And their activity feed will show everything from content that they have posted to content that they've liked or shared. Because you always want to try to connect with people who are active on LinkedIn. Like Marty was saying, a lot of time people aren't. So it's important, and we'll talk more about that, to connect with people who are active on LinkedIn. So there is a huge opportunity on LinkedIn. If you have potential customers there, even Homer Simpson is thinking about LinkedIn. And like I was saying before, there's 5 million users on LinkedIn. They don't break it down by monthly active users, but total users, there's more than 500 now. So 72% of business-to-business buying steps are finished before buyers connect with a salesperson, mostly by using online resources. So this is one reason that you really want to take into consideration whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. It's very important to have a digital presence right now, because people are doing their research first online and then buying their products, whether it's online or whether it's in a store or whether it's direct mail or a printing company. They do a lot of their research online before they even get close to making a decision. Yeah.
You just mentioned there's a lot of people that are online looking for their products. How many people of the 500 million, how do you break that down into what kind of businesses we're talking about? Is there a breakdown on this? We have 72% using B2B before buying, okay?
Okay.
So let's focus on the LinkedIn.
Sure.
Who's on the damn LinkedIn?
Right.
What kind of people, what percentage of what? Who's
Right.
doing what? Are they looking for jobs? Are they looking for sources?
Right. So LinkedIn has a number of different audiences. I don't have specific numbers. I could try to find them for you. But businesses use it. Recruiters use it from businesses. People who are looking for jobs. Recruiters, businesses. people looking for jobs. Those are the big three. So it's a combination of people, with different goals. I don't have any specific numbers for you right now, but I could try to get you some if you'd be interested in that.
Well, trying to use LinkedIn properly, and
Right.
we're all here in the same kind of business, all right? We're all involved in graphics and the graphic industry.
Sure.
To what end can we utilize LinkedIn to promote our particular business? So that's
Right.
where I would live.
Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about branding. Do you know that person, Debbie Sylvester?
Hey.
We're going to talk a little bit about branding. Now, right now, we're talking about your LinkedIn individual account. You can have an individual account on LinkedIn, and you can also have a company page on LinkedIn. The real power of LinkedIn is within the individual account, I believe. Business is also important, but the connections you make are going to be through your individual LinkedIn account. So I just want to point out a few different areas of the profile here. I'm going to try not to become disconnected here. This image up here, this is called the background image. And this is, you want to use a piece of a branding asset up here. This is really the first impression people are going to see when they come to your LinkedIn profile. So you want it to make it a unique piece of graphics that's relevant to your brand. Then the second most important thing is the headshot. Debbie has a really great headshot there. She's smiling. She's looking straight at the camera. And I would say those are the two most important visual elements of your LinkedIn account. Are those two. Then you have your name, and then you have what's called the headline. This is this long headline here Debbie wrote. It says, Postal Savings Expert Utilizing Dropship and Commingling Delivery Strategies for Standard, Nonprofit, and First Class. How did you come up with that, Debbie?
I decided that Vice President of Sales, he really gives crap about that.
Sure.
So let's use something that's going to mean something versus just Vice President of Sales.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you really want to think about how are people going to find you when they look for you on LinkedIn? Like when you create a website, how do you think people are going to look for you? What kind of keywords are they going to use? So I know Debbie, you said last time I saw you, your main goal on LinkedIn was to be a postal savings expert. Is that what you were saying?
Correct.
So she says postal savings expert. And then the next important part here is, this here is the beginning of what's called your summary on LinkedIn. And you really want to pay attention to this because it's the people's first, the summary is going to be your overall look at your yourself, but also your business. So when people come to your LinkedIn profile, so these few words at the beginning, now they have to click see more if they want to see more. So you really want to make those count, those first few words. And then I just noticed, Debbie, that your image gets cut off on mobile. So you want to make sure that when you create or you improve your LinkedIn presence, that the graphics fit on mobile. You want to make sure that your image is certain dimensions, which I will get to you.
Yeah, you don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah, you have to worry about that. Yeah. Okay. So the dimensions for the background image are 1,536 pixels by 768 pixels for the background image, and then the profile image, I believe, is supposed to be 400 by 400 pixels.
There are tools that'll help us on LinkedIn for that?
To sizes and images and things like that. You could use a tool like Photoshop, or you could use, I use a program called Canva, Canva.com. It makes it really easy. So I would recommend something like that. The other thing, I'm just going to go back one step. Over here it says contact and personal info. Under there, you'll be able to put your phone number, you'll be able to put your email address, your other social media, your website or multiple websites, however you want people to connect with you. You want to be reachable. Being reachable is really important, and you want to make it really easy.
I never see that. I never see a phone number. I never see a real email address. Or is that because I'm not paying for it?
I think you have to click on it. I think that's the problem.
No.
Oh, it might be because I have a premium account.
I'm looking for actually put it there because they don't want to be that available.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a premium. I didn't realize that, but maybe it's a premium thing.
You can make it public or you can make it
Right.
to your network, I think.
Right. I think you're right that you could make it public or to your network. Okay. So then here's Mark Zazila. Has anybody ever heard of this guy?
Yeah.
So his the other thing you should notice is when you create the background image, that at the very top, LinkedIn puts an ad there. So when you put the image there, you want to make sure that you don't have any wording up there that's important because it's going to be covered over by this ad. So this is another example of an individual LinkedIn account. And Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about how you came up with your how about your background image and your headline?
Well, the background image is the Unisphere in Flushing Meadow Park.
Okay.
So, given that we're international shipping and mailing, it's a world view. So I took that photograph and used it as the background image. The headline, I kind of agree with what Debbie said. They can put a title in there, but the only people that are going to care about a title are people who want to hire me, and I'm not looking for a job. So
Exactly.
So I thought I'd put something a little more descriptive. One thing that I've read about, and I think it works, is that the search engine function of LinkedIn works similarly to like SEO
Right.
on a web browser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you want to have some keywords not only in your headline but also in the summary that are relevant to what you do. If people are searching not for you specifically but for something that you do,
Right.
they'll find you at the top of the list as opposed to 50 other people who might be in a
Right.
similar position.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Also, if you put the keyword in your experience lower down, that also helps with your with people finding you. So this is Mark's summary. I like how he has different titles. He has "Let's make more money. What can we do together?" He says, how he can help you, and then he has a section about the company, about him, and then how to contact him. So even though there's contact information other places on LinkedIn, he makes it easy. It's right at the bottom of the summary. And I like how he talks about both himself and the company, because it's important to include both in your individual LinkedIn profile. Don't just include your business, because people want to know about you too, because you're the one that's going to be selling to them. And then Mark also has, you can include media with your summary and also with your experience. So media could be a link to a video, it could be a slide share presentation, it could be an image. There's all sorts of media that you can add, and that really adds a lot of impact to your LinkedIn profile. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good? Good? Any other questions yet?
Are these all features of premium accounts or just a regular free account?
These are all premium, a regular account. You also want to solicit and give recommendations. Recommendations are like testimonials. So if you have some clients that are, they like your business, they like your service, you can send them a recommendation right through LinkedIn, and that will, help show give some proof behind, the services you offer, and things like that. So there's also something called endorsements on LinkedIn. You could endorse other people, and other people can endorse you, and that kind of gives some recognition from your peers to specific skills. So I'd encourage you to do that also. So step number 2 to LinkedIn sales success is consistent content. How many of you are creating consistent content on your LinkedIn individual accounts? Excellent. Excellent. And how often do you guys post?
About once a month, really.
Okay.
Not that often.
Okay. How about you, Mark?
Well, original stuff once every couple of months, and other things that I've curated probably every day.
Okay. How about you?
So I will admit to using a third-party service to
Okay.
generate content based on some parameters, so several times a month.
Okay. Great. So really, there's three things when it comes to content. You want to create original content. You want to curate content. So by curate, I mean you want to find content from other sources that people would be interested in. It might be an industry website or magazine or newspaper or anything really, a blog, things like that. And then the third really important part when it comes to LinkedIn is making sure you check when people engage with you on LinkedIn. If somebody posts a comment, if somebody likes or shares your post, you want to send them a message back. Because if you don't, you might be missing out on a sale right there. Yeah.
If I could add to that, what he's saying is correct. I didn't use LinkedIn much. I still don't. I don't write stories. But I took a picture of a truck one day. I had a new truck. I put it on there, right? And I got 400 contacts, so I'm not crazy because I don't like a lot of contacts. You don't want contacts and like everybody that likes you. The win at this game is not to have the greatest amount. Really.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, sometimes you look at somebody who has less than 500, and it's like they're a little more. That's what I think.
Right.
Long story short, I put this picture on, and I only have 400 contacts, but yet I have 2,200 views. So as
Wow.
this thing went out, other people shared it outside of the network, and it kept going, kept going, kept going. So, so anyway, long story short is, I think it's important that if you guys are going to start posting, post something. Make it a little funny, make it a little interesting, because there's so many posts, and just grab somebody's attention.
Yeah.
Somehow you can think of it. It's really pretty cool when you start going back on your LinkedIn, how many views you have. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Lou. But I definitely agree. Images are really the best. They probably get you the most engagement, especially if it's something that's going to spark a conversation or a reaction, some sort of emotional reaction. I took a picture, and I'll show you in a little while. It came out really awful when I was here at last month's meeting of Mike Philly, and I posted it on LinkedIn, and it got more than 800 views, and I connected with, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 20 people because of it. So images can be really powerful. So one kind of content you could share on LinkedIn, and I'd highly suggest it, is videos. If you can create your own videos or outsource it to someone, that is one option. But videos tend to get good engagement. Blog posts. So if you have a blog post, the great thing about blog posts is it will send people to your website. You should have the blog hosted on your website. Or a guest blog post. If you do a guest blog post for another publication or website, that's a good idea. Case studies. If you have case studies of clients that you've worked with, you can post those case studies on your LinkedIn profile. People like to get an idea of other kinds of businesses that you've worked with. Frequently asked questions. This is a really good one. Come up with a list of all the top questions that you guys get asked by your customers right now. So, like, one of you guys, what is one of the top questions you get from your customers?
What's your FTP site?
About your FTP site? Okay. How about from the second table here? What's one of the top questions you get from your customers? Anybody? How much does it cost? Okay.
What's the postage rate?
Okay. What other kind of questions do you guys get? Anybody?
How quick?
Anyway, take time to think about it. You know, as you're meeting with your customers and people are asking you questions, this can be a really good, really solid content that you can post on your LinkedIn. Yeah.
Silly question. Do you put the answer to it too, or do you just leave the question there to kind of tease them and come in contact?
Well, you could do it two ways. You could post it right on LinkedIn, or you could kind of tease people and send them, like if you had a frequently asked question page on your website, you could send them over to your website that way. You could do something like your favorite book or ebook that you've recently read, share an interesting article that people will be interested in, relevant quotes, images from events like this one. I've been seeing you guys taking pictures more. I think we need some more pictures. Tips, infographics, SlideShare presentations like this one, stories, lessons learned, company news. Ask your followers for ideas. Ask them what. There you go. That's a good one. Ask them what they want to see you posting on LinkedIn. So when you create your content, you want to create a headline to lure people in. You always want to size your images or else they're going to get cut off. And I've seen some really funny ones lately when people get cut off like at the head and very interesting other things. So you might make sure you always size your images. Use mentions and hashtags. So a mention is like if you wanted to mention a business or another person on LinkedIn, if you put the @ symbol before it, they will receive a notification. Well, make sure you put the @ symbol, and then there'll be a drop-down menu of different businesses that are alphabetically close to that one. And then you would select from the drop-down menu. If you just do the @ symbol, then it's just going to show up as an @ symbol, and there won't be any notification. Make sure to check your spelling and grammar, because I was an editor for 12 years, and that drives me crazy. Post usually during business hours, like 9 to 6. Do you guys keep track when people are engaging with you on LinkedIn? No? Anybody? Yeah? When is typically is there a better time than others?
Depends on the level of the executive, but the more senior they are, the more they're likely to be very early or very late.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Go figure.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
You say use and mention hashtags. So does that mean you have to already be a Twitter person, or is that what you're referring to here?
No. So on LinkedIn, if you use the @ symbol before a business name or a person's name, you do have to be connected to somebody in order to mention them, but you don't have to follow a business to create a mention of them.
So if I was writing something and I wanted to mention you, I would put the @Tim Sohn.
You could put @Tim Sohn and then select from the drop down. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll be watching.
Don't hold your breath.
You can also use hashtags in your LinkedIn posts. So they could be like keywords like digital marketing or social media marketing or direct mail, or oftentimes during conferences like this one, except that should say LinkedIn sales success. People will use that hashtag, and then they'll be able to see the other posts that have that hashtag also.
Okay.
So people have been using hashtags for a while on LinkedIn. They actually do work now on LinkedIn, but they didn't used to. So I'm glad they finally fixed that. And then with your posts, you can also, you could share them, if appropriate, to different LinkedIn groups. You could search by keywords and other ways to find LinkedIn groups that might be relevant to your audience. This is just an example from Debbie Sylvester, some tips on increasing ROI on direct mail. I don't know if you guys get a lot of questions on ROI, but I do as a social media person. So that's just an example of a blog. And this is the horrible picture I took of Mike Philly that gave me 800 and 74 views. So use images. And create a content calendar. So try to plan ahead, come up with a schedule, maybe certain days you do certain kind of posts. You can schedule your posts ahead of time using tools like Hootsuite and Buffer and things like that. But I would encourage you to try to plan ahead. It's sometimes a good idea, depending on your schedule, to create content ahead of time and then engage with people, share and comment on their content in real time. So now we're going to talk about reaching out. We're going to talk about you really want to think about who your target audience is. Who is your target customer? And then search in LinkedIn. There's a lot of different ways you can search in LinkedIn, such as by industry, by location, by title, and there's many other different ways. Some of the functionality, there are additional options for searching if you have a LinkedIn Premium account. So I would suggest you might want to look into that. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little while. But the LinkedIn Premium account, really the thing I think that's the best about the LinkedIn Premium accounts is that you can see for the last 90 days who has viewed your profile, because those are potential leads for you.
What does that cost?
Yeah,
Near
it's
that, how much?
64 or 69, it's right around $70
A month.
Is that for the annual? If you do it annually, do you know? Or monthly?
Monthly they charge it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because you could buy it for the year.
I use third.
How much is a third party to do all this?
You know what? It depends on what you have to do. It's not that much.
Not that much? That's cheap. Rather than learn it ourselves, I'd rather $30.
Well, it's not. They're helping propagate content. It's not just about setting up your profile, which you use for LinkedIn.
Right.
Yeah. And if any of you guys are looking for somebody to create content for LinkedIn, that's one of the services I offer. Yeah, Lou, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
What were you going to say, Lou?
Well, I was going to ask Mark, you're on that thing all the time, Mark. Have you ever gotten an account from LinkedIn? I don't know.
Yes.
Well, Debbie, have you ever gotten an account?
You know, I'll tell you what
Not
I
as
think.
many as I would
I
like.
think what it does is, so if I'm working with somebody who provides a premium, they're always checking that. Maybe before the appointment, or after the appointment. So I'm not so sure that I get business directly, but they're definitely checking it out because you see who's looking at your account. So let's say I'll give you an example. I met somebody at a conference up in Florida back in January. And so he passed me on to the COO, and after we spoke, right away, he was on the LinkedIn to check out my profile. So my experience is, I don't think I get business directly, but I think it's really a good ad.
Or a good digital resume, sort of.
Yeah.
So Tim, with that
Still
being
have to
said,
close the business.
I guess you agree that the most important part of LinkedIn is really just to have forget about posting, just have a good profile.
I think that's the...
Profile, a good story about yourself, and just so somebody wants to look at it.
The one thing I will say about both of you, so I do blogs, and I guess I do one a month, but, how much can I talk about my business, but, you come up with stuff. And if I don't do it for a while, people will say to me, you haven't posted a blog in a while. And the stupidest ones that I come up with generally are where I get the most people that look at it. With a blog, they have to go to your website. So that's why I like a
Right.
blog. Because the link takes you into your website.
Yeah, that's really the way to go, the blog. Definitely. Yeah, Marty.
So my experience is we have every month we send out an egram, a little informational piece. It doesn't promote our company, but our name is there, and we have an email list for that. But then I post it to LinkedIn. And I also post it to groups that I belong to on LinkedIn.
Right.
Some of these groups have tens of thousands of people belong to them.
Right.
So I got an account recently. I never even heard of this person. I didn't know her from Adam, but she apparently had seen something that I posted to one of these groups and read it, and that's how she contacted me. So that's how I got this account. I had no idea who the heck she was. And there she was.
So,
Yeah.
Lou, on the LinkedIn, I use the groups more than anything. And the groups, same thing. I belong to 7 printing groups and 14 recycling groups. And on the printing groups, there's a digital group, there's a sheet, I mean, they break it down so finite, there's mailing groups throughout. But you're connecting, like they said, probably 30,000 people are in there. You know, and
Right.
my name has been seen by many, many people just because I answer some of the questions. They'll post a thread. And
Right.
when you post a thread, you can just go on. If you have the answer, put it up. All of a sudden, 30,000 people just saw your thread.
Right.
And they want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, that's really great.
So if anybody doesn't use LinkedIn, he's absolutely right. Because you got to go on the groups.
Groups
You have
alone,
200
'cause-
contact, you have to get 1,000 contact. That's not important. You got to go whatever industry you're in, get on the groups, make your journeys.
This is the head of the printing industry right in this room right now. You guys have knowledge that people would die for. So to get on LinkedIn and to answer, a lot of people don't know the answers to a lot of questions that you guys can answer. So I learned from it more than anything.
Yeah, that's really great. That's a really great point. So if we talk a little bit about identifying potential clients on LinkedIn, if you look at, this is the APC Postal Logistics company page, and you'll notice on the right-hand side it has similar companies. So if you had a list of potential customers and you wanted to identify some other ones, you might select from one of these other ones. Also, if you wanted to contact an individual, you wanted to find out how to find an individual on LinkedIn, you could just search for their name, but you could also go to their company page, and then you could click up there where it says see all 72 employees, and it would show all the people who are on LinkedIn for APC Postal Logistics. So then the next thing you want to do is, it's going to get really expensive because you're going to have to engage with a lot of people, get engaged to them, and you're going to have to buy a lot of rings. Ba-dum-bum. Anyway, so what you want to do is you want to identify people you want to connect with. You want to search different filters on LinkedIn, searching by industry or searching for different job titles, things like that. And then you want to send them a personalized invitation. You never want to send just a generic invitation to LinkedIn. You want it to be personalized. So you want to include, the person's name. You want to do some research ahead of time about their business. Mention a few different things based on that research you found. Send them an invitation, and then look at their level of engagement. Look at their activity feed on LinkedIn and see how engaged they are, and determine if you want to have them, or if you want to use LinkedIn as a tool to potentially get them as a customer. So you would connect with them, and then if you determine it's a person you want to connect, potentially have as a customer or engage with, then you would start engaging with them. You could look at both their individual LinkedIn posts, their activity feed, but then you could also look at the company activity feed, and you could engage in both, whether it's liking some content or sharing or commenting. And don't just say that's a really great article, ask a question or provide some sort of insight kind of thing.
If you're connecting with somebody, can you connect with anybody, whether it doesn't matter what degree down the road they are, whether they're a second connection, a third connection, or a fourth connection?
You can connect up to a second.
I guess after a third.
Yeah, after a third, no. But up to a third, you can. If you know somebody that you want to connect with that is a connection of one of your followers, you can ask them to introduce you. There's a function called introducing.
I hide my connections.
Oh, you hide them?
I hide them.
Okay.
I don't let other people from outside see who I'm linked into.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important.
Okay.
Are you in a highly competitive industry?
Exactly. Some of my customers are my connections. I don't need other people in my industry to look at my connections and say,
Sure.
I'm after them.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Are you going to speak about like he's talking about the stealth side of what you should be doing to protect yourself and your customers? Or are you only going to talk about the positive and how we can get sales?
I was going to talk mostly about the positive in sales. But if you have additional questions at the end, I'd be happy to answer them.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Well, I mean, because I had a question for you earlier that says we are all here in this room and most of us do the same thing. So what is the advantage or probably more disadvantage of me to, I'm going to use the term, friend somebody in this room?
Right. So if you connect with somebody else in this room, then you will have access to their connections. So if one of their connections is valuable to you, then it may be worthy. In some cases, if you're a competitor with another person, you'll want to think about that, and if it, weigh out the pros and cons if it makes sense for you.
Right, you don't have to, your connections are not visible to the public. They're only visible to other people you're connected.
Unless.
So if you avoid connecting with your competitors won't see who you're connected. It doesn't matter. So hiding anything, you hide from the public, but so what? It doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't everybody know all the customers anyway?
Not in my business.
I think it depends a lot on your industry. There's some industries where you would not list your clients on your website. Some industries where you feel confident you can do that. It depends on your industry,
You have competitors that are also your customers. And one example is Lou is a customer of mine. On a certain product, he's also a competitor. So,
Right.
I would.
Did you know that, Lou?
Oh, he knows it. Yes. He knows.
So what you're saying, Tim, is if me and him are connected, so I go onto his LinkedIn page right now, I can't see his connection because he blocked it. There's a tool he used to block it.
Yeah, there's a setting, right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the
And
settings.
he's reading yours, like, send me a con.
I
There you go.
partner
Yeah.
with some of my competitors, so I'm with you. It's not.
Yeah.
Depends on your industry.
I'm the same way, yeah. Just depends. And then how long you engage with the potential client, it's really up to you. Usually I do it somewhere between, maybe up to like 2 weeks. And then you want to contact the lead. You want to send them a personalized message. You want to use the research you did. You really want to look at their individual LinkedIn accounts and the company LinkedIn accounts. And look at this animated GIF here. No. And you want to really use the information you've learned to reach out to that person in a personalized message. You might want to consider whether you do it by text or maybe you want to create a video message for them. That might be more compelling. You could create a YouTube video and set it so it's a private video so other people can't see it, kind of thing.
I've only got one of those, but it really made an impression.
Did it?
Can you connect from your LinkedIn to YouTube? You can put the address on there and it'll go right into YouTube?
Absolutely.
Is it seamless? And can you get back to the LinkedIn page?
If you put the LinkedIn, you can go from LinkedIn to YouTube. And then if you put the LinkedIn link on YouTube back, then absolutely, yeah. Sure. And then when you craft the message, you want to decide, how you want to approach it. Some people are more salesy right away. Some people, what they'll do, and seems to be a better approach sometimes, is share a piece of content. Maybe you have like an ebook or a downloadable PDF or something like that that provides, useful information for them. And then in that downloadable PDF, it gives contact information and more information about your business. That typically works better than other ways. Or maybe in it you'll provide a call or a demo or something like that. And then you really want to go from online to offline to talk to the people. And then finally, you might want to make an investment in either a LinkedIn, what's called a LinkedIn Business Premium account, a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, and you might want to consider LinkedIn advertising. Like I was saying before, the LinkedIn Premium account is really great because it gives you access, and Debbie was saying before, to people that have viewed your profile before. So those are, they could become clients down the road. There's other features as well. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, if you know a lot of your clients are on LinkedIn, and especially if you have someone who's specifically dedicated to LinkedIn or social media for your business, you might want to consider the LinkedIn Sales Navigator premium package. The really great thing about that is you can identify leads for your business. So they could be individuals, or they could be companies, or both. And then you can save that lead, and then LinkedIn provides you a feed of all the content from the businesses. In Sales Navigator, they're called accounts if they're businesses, and they're called leads if they're individuals, so that you can just see the content from those businesses you've identified as leads. So if that is, if you potentially have clients that are, you have a lot of clients potentially that are on LinkedIn. If you have someone dedicated to social media for your business, you might want to seriously consider LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is $80-something a month. That's if you do it monthly. It's probably slightly less if you do it as an annual plan.
That's 80 on top of the LinkedIn, not on top of the premium?
No, then you wouldn't. It would also bundle in, I believe, most of the features that the other one has.
I'm not clear how that's different from regular premium accounts.
So the thing that's different is Sales Navigator has a thing called Lead Builder. And what Lead Builder lets you do is save searches of leads for your business, and then it provides you a feed of just content as the businesses post content, just those leads. So they're just in their own feed. So you don't have to go through all of your, the posts that you see from the people who follow you. What's that?
Why wouldn't every salesman just use that?
You use Sales Navigator?
Yeah, instead of...
They should. If they have the resources for it, I definitely think that they should. It would get you better results faster. It would make your process more efficient. And I'm not Ellen DeGeneres, but does anybody else have any other questions?
So we have a presence on Facebook and we have a presence on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We use our social media tremendous.
Great.
More on Facebook than anything. We get a tremendous amount of inquiries on Facebook.
Okay.
You see LinkedIn moving. I mean, the difference, the scale is huge compared one to the other.
Sure, yeah.
You see LinkedIn growing to that enormity.
I don't know if it will grow to that enormity.
More powerful, let's say.
Right. They're just kind of different in terms of Facebook tends to work better with consumer businesses, and LinkedIn tends to, although you may be proving me wrong, LinkedIn tends to work better with business-to-business businesses.
I think you're ahead of the curve. I think Facebook.
Yeah. They should be using you as a testimonial. Who are your, what kind of businesses do you work with? Who are your clients?
Mostly manufacturers,
Okay.
distributors, anybody that's producing recyclable materials.
Okay, great. That's interesting. So Facebook are you getting leads through Facebook?
We are.
Great.
That and our website, we
Okay.
get 90 leads a month per sale. And you can't go through them all.
Wow, that's great. That's great. What kind of content do you put on Facebook?
Mike, the owner of the company, he spends a tremendous amount on the website on content words, on Google words. Honestly, it's above my head.
Google AdWords, yeah.
He gets top billing when someone searches certain equipment.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Marty.
I'm just making an observation here. This may, kind of strike at the premise of this whole thing here. But so, to do everything that we're talking about here, this implies that you're making a certain investment of time in this LinkedIn on a regular basis. You're checking it, you're looking at it, you're engaging, very, very frequently, probably maybe even every day, maybe
Sure.
for more than a half hour or an hour or so.
Absolutely.
I don't do that. I don't find it useful. I don't find that I have the time. And I'm just wondering, you know, of these 500 million users, how many people are really spending time at it? I can see Facebook, even though I don't participate in that all that much. I can see how people spend time on Facebook because they want to catch up with their friends and their family and all of that kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff that I see, and I've connected to a lot of people on LinkedIn, it's not very interesting. I don't know, and who has the time for this? So I'm just wondering, what of these 500 million people, how many people are really spending time on this? What is your impression? Obviously, somebody is. People have mentioned some success here.
Right,
But I'm
right.
just using my own experience. It doesn't interest me. I don't, I'm not going to go on LinkedIn and look at what these other people have to say. I mean, I don't know. It's not, I don't know.
Right. So what? I have a challenge for you, Marty. How about you try using LinkedIn on a daily basis for 1 month. Follow the steps I laid out here, and then let me know how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a number of them already. Not everything, of course, but I'm not posting videos.
Is your perspective too when you're
Right.
when you're participating? Are you looking at it from your clients, from the way one of your customers would be looking at it? You're looking at it from a seller's point of view. If you're a buyer, you might be on LinkedIn from looking for something, for content that's going to help you in ways that you and I just don't get.
Yeah.
I ask a quick question. How many people here use it to purchase things? I mean, I personally don't. I'm a networker, so if I need something, I call somebody who I know, who knows somebody. But who actually uses LinkedIn here to find a product or a supply? You use. Let's turn the roles around. Is what I'm saying. Does anybody?
So what you just described is a three-person connection to get a reference. Let's say you had to do a mail in Toronto, Canada. Okay, you're going over the border. You need a connection up there, and a lot of people don't have that. It's much quicker to go through LinkedIn and look at their who's approved, who they've used, who's up there, exactly what you're looking for. You can do that in probably 5 minutes as compared to 3 connection, and you don't even know who the guy is. You're just taking a chance on it.
Well, I would be calling somebody to say, who do you know there? And he'd say, I know X, Y. Hopefully it's only 2 connections.
It's just a lot easier on. They have the recommendations already posted, what they've done.
Exactly. Did you have a question, Gary?
I do that because I wanted to go to the guy and say, Joe Smith referred me, so at least I get in, and I walk in there, and at least there's some familiarity, and hopefully I'm getting treated better than somebody else who just picks up the phone and calls.
Right.
Part of that is age related too, though.
I'm old.
There are people who are at a certain age that won't bother picking up the phone no matter what. They'll connect with you on LinkedIn, and you can find them on LinkedIn. If you call them, if you email them, you'll never hear a word. That's true.
Yeah, it's true. It really does depend on the person. It really does.
Unfortunately, most of the people in this room don't fall that way.
I find from a reactive standpoint of you're in effect putting your resume up there, and anything you do to create content other people are seeing, and it's the opportunity for them to do a background check to see who you are.
Exactly.
Probably not going to be the first place they're going to look. First, they're going to find out about your company. Maybe it's going to come up in a Google search, and that's how you're going to get there.
Yeah, it will.
I've never gotten any work directly from being on LinkedIn, but I know that there are people who are looking me up who I met, whether I met them at an organization or when I went to connect with them, they looked at my profile.
Right.
The part when I'm using this for networking and introducing is getting beyond that. Okay, we connected. Now what?
Right.
There's really not the conversation doesn't really seem to flow through LinkedIn. Now maybe it's going to flow through email if the person responds, but not through LinkedIn. It's just really the icebreaker of here's all the background information.
Exactly. Yeah. You really want to go offline from LinkedIn as quickly as you can because people don't tend to email back or message back and forth on LinkedIn a lot. So that's a really good point. Yeah.
I mean, I only use LinkedIn, but it's the only method I have because I don't have their email.
Okay.
Well, in the group,
Anybody else?
when
Yeah.
you answer the thread,
Mhm.
people see that, and it's going to say where you're from.
So
They're going to contact you, no question. So if they're looking
Right.
for a contact in New Jersey for what I do, and they see me on the thread and I'm answering, most times the facilitator is the person that knows who's on the thread, because you have to get approved to get on these groups.
Right.
Once you're approved, he knows who you are, so you can also contact the facilitator when they're looking for something, which has happened to me, people have called, I didn't know who they were.
Oh, okay.
A few times I didn't even accept the invitation.
Sure.
So,
I think
Yeah.
it works too when you're connected with the client, then they're no longer with that company,
Right.
and you can still communicate with them and still continue that relationship. And
Yeah.
that's where I think, well, I can.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Absolutely. Anybody else?
No, I like your vines, but
My what?
your videos.
Oh, my videos? I used an app called Jiffy to create these. So, and the cartoon at the beginning of me is an app called Bitmoji. That can be kind of fun. Not necessarily for company business, but personal or, it's fun.
Hey, Tim,
Yeah. Yeah, Lou.
So I'm writing a blog, and right in the middle of it, trying to correct a word, I'm not finished with it, freaking thing sends, like you send an email. Right? Okay?
Yeah.
It's like a complete ass, because it looks like a ransom note you just sent out. How do you stop this thing and retract it?
A LinkedIn message?
You can edit it after you send it.
absolutely.
So you're reading it, it's like, Louis
Absolutely. You
Monkey.
can do that on Facebook, same thing. They have the same correction key. When you post something, if you posted it, go back on it, and in the top right corner, you hit a button. There's
Yeah.
a little icon, it says edit, and you can pull it right back out.
In LinkedIn.
For your posts, yeah.
It's a pencil. It's a pencil.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can take out the Brooklyn accent, so they don't think it's a ransom.
Don't take out the finish something, and then you go back and correct it, you don't correct these words.
Well, I hope you're not calling them an asshole. Or
Oh, worse than that.
he's an asshole. That guy's
So wait, Lou, how many resumes have you?
You're not.
So I was thinking what we could do now is we could do, if it's okay with Marty, if we do a group photo of everybody. And then I will share that on my LinkedIn, and then if everybody else wants to share it on theirs, and if you want to say anything about the event or not, it's up to you.
Oh, I'm talking about Lou after this one.
Going viral.
You're going to be a big guy after this. 5,000
And
kids.
there are brochures over here if anybody has any interest in any of the services I offer, and also over there at the registration table, or feel free to email me, connect with me on LinkedIn, etc.
Tim,
Yeah.
You'll go to somebody's company, spend a couple hours with a group, and do a personal right there, let's straighten out things.
Absolutely.
You'll do a one-on. I call you up, I need an hour, just an hour of your time over the phone.
Yep, I could do it over the phone, I could do it on Skype, I could do it in person, I could do it with 1 people, I could do it with 20 people.
All right.
We'll just customize a package for you.
Share this with us, your presentation.
Yeah. What's the best way to,
Give it to Marty.
can you email it to everybody, Marty? The presentation?
Yes.
What do you charge a month to upload content, to do content editing?
It just depends on how much and how often.
That could be the question you put on your site, or whatever you.
How much does it cost? That's a good question.
I'm sure that's the number one question.
Where does it start?
What's the price point? Where does it start? $30 a month, $20 a month, and up?
I would say somewhere.
$50, $100.
We should have, this is a private conversation, you should have it, Tim.
Yeah.
He's gonna be
Talk with
available.
me afterwards.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to talk about it. Yeah.
What's a reasonable time budget? For somebody who's getting started in it, what do you recommend as a daily, weekly budget? Like, we're going back to the office tomorrow morning.
Right.
How much time should you set aside?
Yes. So I would set aside probably, if you could set aside, I don't know, half an hour a day, if you can. It depends too if you're going to create your content ahead of time, try to do it all at once and schedule it, or if you're going to do it every day, kind of thing,
Somebody who's effective with it is spending how much time do you think on a regular basis investing in?
I would say probably at least half an hour a day between creating content and engaging with people. Could be more, depending on what you want to do.
Okay.
Are we good?
Tim Stone.
Thank you. Thank
Social
you.
Media Solutions. So we're going to do a couple of things. To get you all folks to stay, we're going to do the 50-50 raffle at the end. But let's take a group photo.
Yes.
How do we do that? We're gonna stand all over there?
Let's find a spot to do this.
Okay. And then we do a 50-50 raffle?